Hello and welcome to Pro Tips with Studio Pros. Today we're going to talk about MIDI quantization. So there's a link in the description below to another video that we did about what MIDI is. Go in depth about what it is. So if you already know what that is, you've already seen the video, you might have heard the term quantization be thrown around before. Today we're going to explore what that is. In words, the easiest way to explain MIDI quantization is reducing or eliminating rhythmic imperfections in your musical performance. But I think it might be better if I just show you. So there will be occasions where you're playing your MIDI keyboard and you play a part as well as you can play it, and it's still not exactly rhythmically where you want it to be. You either dragged or rushed a bit, or your attacks weren't as precise as you'd like for them to be. So there's a very easy way that our DAWs allow us to fix that. I'll take a part that I played here before, and this is exactly as I played it, no correction to it at all. Now on its own, that sounds pretty good. And for the most part, if you're a good enough keyboard player and you're just doing, let's say, a solo piano piece, quantization is not going to be as much of an issue. When it does become an issue is when you introduce other rhythmic elements in your song. For example, I have this drum loop here, and when you play them together, you'll hear it doesn't quite work. So what do? The piano part sounded fine by itself, but we introduced the drum part, and now you can hear it kind of pushes in some parts, pulls in some other parts. It's not as locked in as it should be. Well, it's actually really easy. In Logic, you can select the file. It'll pull up if you don't have the piano roll pulled up, you can double click it and it'll pull it up. Select all your notes here. And then right up here you'll find the quantization area. The first and most important step in this quantization process is to figure out which note you want it to quantize to. So go through your part and figure out what the fastest rhythm is that you actually want it to quantize to. So in our part here, ba-da-ba-ba. So dun, da-da-dun-dun, dun, so da-da-dun-dun. What is that rhythm? Da-da-dun-dun. Those are 16th notes. So all I need to do is select my file here, make sure 16th notes are selected, and then once I press Q, you'll see everything just shifted. I'll undo it and show you again. Once I press Q, everything shifts and locks right into place. And you can see now it's all gridded out. I'll undo it one more time so you can see how this is a little early, that's a little late. When I press Q, it locks it into the grid. And now everything should play together just right. Let's test it out. So now the piano part locks in really well with the drums. Some of you might be saying, okay, well maybe it sounded good for that, but I could see a situation where it's going to start to sound unnatural when all the notes are exactly lined up where they're supposed to be, because that's not how a player would play. Well, the really cool thing is that you can decide what strength you want to apply to the quantization. So if we take my file again here, as I move the strength, you see that the notes will be more or less quantized. This can be really helpful when you want something to still sound natural, but you want some sort of correction made to your part. The really nice thing about quantization is that you don't have to quantize the entire file. Sometimes you can just select a few notes and then decide to quantize those. Or let's say you have a long piano part, but there's only a small section that subdivides into triplets. Well, then you can just select that section and then quantize to triplets in that section while leaving the rest of the piano part intact. Another really cool tool about quantization is that let's say you have a part that's swung. That's not going to grid out exactly. Well, there's no problem. There's a swing function here as well. So let's select all our notes again. And look, as I do swing, you can see the 16th notes, because that's what we have selected, is the 16th notes will start to swing. So let's listen to it like that. So it's subtle here because we only have two notes where it applies, But still, you can see how in a bigger context with an entire production, it'd be very convenient to be able to control how much swing your quantization has. Different DAWs have different ways of quantizing, but every single one of them has it built in. So it's just a matter of finding it and figuring out how it works. It's never complicated. And now if you're anything like me, you'll be able to transform your sloppy rhythmic keyboard tracks into punchy and tight sections. At Studio Pros, we have some of the most talented keyboard players in the industry, and I know that at times in sections they will also use the quantize function sometimes. So don't feel bad about using it. Use it whenever you need it. At the end of the day, I think you should use whatever tool it takes to get the best song possible. So please check out our services at studiopros.com. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please like and subscribe below. Leave any comments you'd like in the description, especially any videos you'd like for us to make coming up. See you next week.